So, Halo 7 is a game that a lot of people have been going on record and saying is going to be coming out in 2027. And it's something that wouldn't surprise me if that was true because I know that I know that 343 Industries or Xbox has not really confirmed it or anything like that, but it seems really likely to happen because I think 2027 is supposed to be the year that we're supposed to be getting a brand new Xbox console, and a lot of people were under the impression that Microsoft was pretty much done with the console wars, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Um, Question is people interested in another Halo game? Because I feel like Halo Infinite is a game that a lot of people didn't really care too much about, and I feel like the Halo series had it was starting to lose its luster after, I guess, like Halo 3, because a lot of people go on record to tell you that the first 3 Halo games that Bungie created was or they were the best, in general, and everything after that was kind of just mid. The best selling Halo game was Halo 3, did like over 14 mil. Then we get to like Halo 4, which is another main entry, did roughly under 10 mil, like 9.7 mil. Then we jump all the way to Halo 5 Guardians. I did 9.5 million. And then we get to Halo Infinite, which was the last main entry within the franchise. I don't think I don't think we even got like a number as to how much that game sold, but I remember I remember the publisher, and the creators talking about the player count online, how it did like millions in terms of like, player count, and after that, it just became irrelevant. That was back in like 2021. I mean, a lot of people don't really talk too much about Halo Infinite anymore. And I feel like it's one of those things where Halo Infinite is just something that's a thing in the past. It just doesn't hit the same as some of the older games. And in fact, I feel like most of Halo games that 343 Industries made don't hit the same as the original 3 games that we got from Bungie, and I'm not quite sure what it is. Maybe it's because of, like, the storylines, because, you look at the first 3 Halo games, um, what people liked about those games was the Covenant War. The Human Covenant War was something that people were really into, and I feel like after that came to a conclusion in Halo 3, um, the saga that we got in the Reclaimer saga, like in Halo 4, that was something that really didn't catch a lot of people's attention, or something that kind of like pushed people away because it wasn't as intriguing. The thing with the Forerunners and all that other stuff, I feel like, I don't know. I guess it was subpar compared to what we got in the first 3 Halo games, but at the same time, it wasn't as bad as people make it out to be. And and then you look at like Halo 5 Guardians, that was a game that did 10 mil in terms of sales. A lot of people were fans of the aesthetics and, the multiplayer gameplay and stuff like that. But at the same time, they wouldn't put it on the same level as like the first like 2 or 3 Halo games. But I don't know. I feel like the decline in Halo's popularity is due to multiple things. I feel like the Reclaimer saga is not as popular as what we got with the Covenant War. And I also feel like the emergence of like different first person shooter video games along with their popularity, it pretty much it pretty much took a lot of eyes off of the Halo franchise. Like during the teens decade, we got to see the emergence of games like Titanfall 2, Destiny 2. We got Apex Legends. We got to see the Borderlands series become more popular. We're supposed to be getting a new Borderlands game next year, I believe, and I believe Battlefield became like really popular during the first half of the teens decade as well. And I think we're supposed to be getting a new Battlefield game next year. Is going to be Battlefield 6. So I think it's mainly due to the fact that there are more popular options in relation to first person shooter games. And back in the 2000s, Halo was pretty much like the it was like the face of the first person shooter genre. And I think this came like right after the popularity of like the Unreal Tournament and everything like that. And And yeah, I mean, I feel like the 2000s is where the Halo series had peaked in terms of popularity, and I feel like we've just seen a decline in that during the teens decade. And I feel like another Halo game is going to be an attempt for, I guess, for Xbox to try and or to try and, like, make the series more popular again, to I guess see what works in terms of, like, capturing people's attention and all that. But um but yeah, we're supposed to be getting a remake for Halo Combat Evolved in 2026. And a lot of people are very excited to see that because it's one of the more popular installments within the franchise. We're supposed to be getting a new Black Ops game, Call of Duty Black Ops 7, before the end of the year. So I feel like there's more like first person shooter games out there that people are interested in. Even like, Call of Duty. I don't feel like the franchise is as popular as it once was, like during the late 2000s, early teens, but it's still like more popular than that of Halo. And and I don't know. I just feel like for the most part, there's more competition within the first person shooter genre of gaming. And because of that, um, I feel like it's something that has been negatively affecting the overall sales of some of the more recent Halo games. And I'm not exactly sure how long that trend is going to continue. But yeah, I'm definitely hoping we get a brand new Halo video game in 2027, because when it comes to gaming, I think that's where the Halo franchise excels most at, because I believe we got a Halo TV series not too long ago, and it got canceled after its first season or whatever. So obviously, I don't see Halo getting big on television through through like movies or anything like that. But but yeah, I mean, the first person shooter genre in general is not even as big as it was back in the 2000s. So I think that's something that has also had a detrimental effect on the popularity of the Halo franchise. But but since Microsoft's supposed to be launching a brand new Xbox console in 2027, I honestly feel like this is their chance to try and to make that particular franchise popular again, make it stand out like it once did. I don't think it's going to reach the level of popularity that it that the series had back in the day, but I do feel like this upcoming Halo game is definitely going to turn heads. I feel like this new Halo game that we're going to get in 2027 or 2028, it's definitely going to utilize the Unreal Engine 5, because I think there's been talk about that being a thing on various different forums. But even if the graphics are better, it's just how good is the story going to be? How much depth is the online multiplayer game mode going to have? Stuff like that is really going to matter, because I feel like the Halo franchise has gone stale within the past like couple of years, and it's gotten to a point where people have just lost interest in it for the most part. And yeah, I mean, I honestly feel like this upcoming Halo game has a lot of potential, but at the same time, you have a lot of video games struggling to I guess sell more than 3 or 4 million copies like within its first like year or what have you. And I think that has more to do with the economic decline that's taking place in America as well as other countries. The cost of everything's going up, which means less people will be able to buy certain games, which means certain games are not going to be able to sell as much as they would have, like, several years ago. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different variables and factors that kind of goes into the success of a video game. And with Halo 7, we haven't like heard any official announcements or anything about it, but we do know it's coming and we have no idea what to expect. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But until then, a lot of people, myself included, is looking forward to the next generation Halo game that's supposed to be coming out on a Microsoft's future console. But yeah, yeah, I mean, I feel like this game is definitely one that has high expectations, but But who knows? This game might end up being one of their better entries that we've gotten, and yeah, it's really too soon to tell how well the game's going to do and whether or not it still appeals to casuals along with longtime fans of the franchise.